Okay, so now I want to talk on this part around processes, because that's very, very key, because a lot of businesses don't have processes and therefore they are unable to streamline themselves, okay? Now a process basically means now either a client calls in or you sail, you call out, okay? So the question becomes, what happened from A to Z? And have you mapped it out? You understand what I'm trying to say? So let's make an example. You, my friend, you train, isn't it?
Yes.
How many times do you train in a year?
Well, it depends, but I think 4th or 5th time.
No, then you don't train. Okay, let's talk to you, my man. So I call you and I say, build me a website. What happens then after?
So it's either we're going to do it online or we're going to set up a meeting to get the brief.
Okay,
So
tell me the way you do it. I'm calling you. What happens?
So Mr. Bila, are you available to meet? If not, you can send me what you want.
So you want a meeting, okay? Or what?
Or so meeting or email.
And what does the email say?
So you can send me what you have, your logos.
You don't want a brief.
That's a brief.
Okay. That's a brief, okay? You get the brief, and then what happens?
And then we go into accounts where they send you a quote.
Okay.
Once you're happy with the quote, you pay.
Okay, just hold on. So they send me a quote, and then I make a decision.
Yeah.
And if I'm happy, which is yes, what happens?
Then one of the designers will contact you, and then we start.
Okay, so I want to understand. So I give you a brief.
Yeah.
Then after I give you a brief, you somehow send me a quote.
Yeah. So the brief will determine the quote.
Okay, so you don't verify what I'm sending you. Meaning, I say, hi, I'm running a butchery and I sell pork and this and this and this and this, and I want a website, it must be green and yellow and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That's my brief. You don't email me back to verify that information, to ask me even deeper questions. You don't do that.
No, the first brief is basic to understand what kind of website you want.
No, but remember, I'm saying that I called you and I emailed you a brief. Yeah. So I'm saying, after I email a brief, what do you do?
We quote you.
No. So
you want the whole process?
Yeah, you see, guys, I want to understand the whole thing.
Like your sales.
Yeah, yes. I would respond and say, yeah, we received the...
Okay, so let's start from scratch here. Okay? So I send you a brief.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you get the brief, and then what do you do?
So we're going to call just to confirm that.
So you're going to verify my brief. Okay? Then after you verify my brief, you do what?
We're going to email you the quote.
Then you send me a quote.
And the person who's emailed the quote will call to check if you've received the quote.
Okay, so this one is a yes, and this is a no. So you send me a quote, I say, no, your quote is expensive. What do you do?
So I call you just to find out if there are any adjustments we can make on the quote.
Okay, so we have a discussion, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And then it goes to a decision-making process. Then I say yes, and then what happens?
So when you've received, you make a 50% payment.
Okay, so I must pay.
Send me a POP or
50%, and then what happens after I pay?
So you need to email me the POP, and I'll confirm that it's in the.
Yeah.
And then we start. It goes to production.
Okay. Goes to production. And how long does it stay in production?
It stays usually a week.
A week.
Yeah. But in between there are communications. We send you some of the concepts.
Okay, so within this week you send me concepts. I say no. What happens?
So we do revisions until.
Okay. So when we talk about process, I want to know all of this. Is it clearly mapped out? Do you have it mapped out?
All our employees.
It's clearly mapped out.
Yeah.
And from the brief to the delivery of the website, how long does it take?
We've set for a week, but sometimes you find the client is not responding on time. So it will delay based on the client's response.
Okay, so when you've got processes, guys, here's what you do. If this takes you a whole week, okay? In that process of the whole week, you're going to experience this thing called PONC. The word PONC stands for price of non-conformance. It means there's a space in your chain, in your value chain, where you have a bottleneck, where things don't move, and that costs you money. So now when you're running a business, you've got to consistently ask yourself that if it takes me a week to do this, is it possible to do it in 4.5 days? Is it possible to do it in 4 days? Is it possible to do it in 2 days? You understand? Then you process re-engineer. You make your process to become sharper. Now, with Fiverr, when I go on Fiverr, I say, let's say I want to build a website. I say I want to build a WordPress. There's guys that says $50, 2 days, 1 revision, $75, 3 days, 2 revisions, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So I know what I'm getting myself into from day one. And they say, please write a brief. I say, boom. And then immediately, this guy's online. Says to me, am I getting you right? The colors. Give me that document, post. And they say in 3 days' time, but within 3 days, they'll give me something to check. Email will come or a prompt will come to me and says, please check your Fiverr account. I go, boom. It says, okay, this is the look and feel, the plugins, do you like? I say, yeah, I like, but can you change this? Yes. 3 days' time, he sends me my full website. He gives me a link. He says, check it out. If you're happy, tell me you're happy. And then the order is done, I say. So that happens in less than 3 days, depending on what I'm trying to build. You understand? And why? Because they've defined their processes very clear. Because it's a website, it's a website, and it's a website. The variation, how different can a website be? Is the color? Is the logo? Content? And if the person has got content, it's easy. If you've got to create content for them, sometimes you have to create content for them. So, in whatever your business is, Microsoft has Visio. You know Visio? You use Visio. Microsoft has got a software called Visio. Visio is a process mapping software. It's free. So I suggest you go and you learn how to use it, and you go and you write a process for everything that you do. Even you, madam, with children. You've got to process everything, because if you don't have processes, your business is just haphazard. Tibang, tomorrow work that way, tomorrow nobody knows who's supposed to do what, and we start blaming each other and those kind of things. So you've got to define your processes, and then again it will tell you, of all these processes that you have, which of the processes can be cheaper for you to outsource. Maybe doing invoices is not what you're supposed to be doing. You just have to have an accountant somewhere, wherever, where you just say, send an invoice to this client, they do it just like that. Because it means you must have a software, which means you must service the software. And sometimes you don't need to do all those things. Yes, ma'am.
You're trying to say to him, he must map out his processes.
Yeah.
Like, he shouldn't wait for the clients to prolong the processes. He should tell clients, oh, you know what, after this is this and
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Because they can take the whole,
Yeah.
the whole month.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you understand, so when the client says, you say, thank you very much, this is how we work. We'll expect this by this, we'll bring you back, so that the client knows. Because some instances, you'll spend 3 weeks on somebody's website, and they're eating your money. You understand what I'm trying to say? So they're taking your money, because you're busy giving resources to him or her, and she or he's not paying you for that.
I think that's the problem we're having now. Is that
Yeah.
after the 50%, the people relax.
You see, that's the thing. And you see, then you're experiencing price of non-conformance. Then you're working for them, literally. So you're paying them to work for them. Does it make sense? Yes, ma'am.
I think according to my understanding, he can, like on his profit, he can separate. He said, okay, fine. This money comes with the PONC side, this one comes with...
No, PONC, the price of non-conformance is the cost of opportunities. We call it opportunity cost. It's when money goes down the drain, literally, because your processes are not clearly defined.
Maybe I don't put it in a... Like I'm saying, me, in my business, there are those monies that I know, this invoice was quick, this one was slow, this one was quick. I know that, okay, this, I do a clientele. I know this kind of people, they're good. This one, okay, they might not.
We will talk about that when we get to customers. What kind of customers and how do you serve and how much money you spend on each customer. Because customers are not the same. Some customers you don't need to spend money on it because it doesn't return. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying myself? So if I come to you and say I want a website and you tell me how you work, it's clear. You say to him, our turnaround time is 4 days. So these are the things we'd want from you. Once you've paid your 50%, will be done in 2 days. We want our money in. And so which means you've got processes that are so clearly defined that goes ching, 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 you deliver the product. But you go ching, 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 and then you stop. And then you can't find the customers not sending you this, and then you say somebody's going to send, it moved from 1 week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks, so it is costing you, and by the time they pay 50%, it's not worth anything. Does it make sense?
If it takes long, we give them chance to look for other competitors.
But things must happen quicker. Yes, ma'am?
Okay, and I think what you just advising the guy there is very important regarding the process, because if you don't follow process, it's gonna jeopardize the business.
Yeah.
Especially like when there is process in place, no matter how difficult your client is, the process is process.
Yeah.
And it's gonna even manage your time effectively because that's the process. As he said, if it's 3 days, because I think earlier on you mentioned in terms of you don't getting much clients. Clients want things to work like quicker or faster in whatever way. And maybe you might have more referrals, but because of the delay, the more you take time on completing whatever, it might make you not to get more clients, because it will be like, November, it takes forever. But if you make sure that you deliver on time, like I think your business will
On our side, it's not, the issue is not on us delivering, it's on the client responding. So we actually at a space where we've done all the work that has come in, but it's now for us to get the rest of the money for the work we've done. So it's not an issue on us, it's just as we learn now, the process, there's a glitch somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see, another thing when you talk about processes, I say to people, you must always benchmark what other people are doing. First in your industry, and then we do this thing called out of industry benchmark. You look at what other agencies are doing, that what you do, and then you look at out of industry. Now, there is no better place to benchmark processes than a hospital. Not Paraguanath, like, I mean serious, a private hospital. Go to a private hospital and see what happens when an ambulance stops or when somebody comes in. There's no time to waste. Somebody dies. So that's how sharp your business should be. They've got triage. They've got this, so they know how can I feel. These are the questions they're going to ask you. They're going to do blood pressure. They're going to do whatever. They're going to go to the next person. As you do that, they're going to say somebody must go and sort out the account. Everything works until they decide you are either in or out. If you're out, they say here's a prescription. Lap aside to the pharmacy. So it's just there's no waste of time. So that's how your business should be. Business is about delivering value, and the quicker you deliver the value, the better your return on your own investment. Because some people don't even count the how much they are worth per hour. So if you don't know how much you're worth per hour, you will just giving people your money. And there's this thing that because I'm a small business, I must just say yes to every deal. Some deals you must say no to. And we'll deal with it when we talk about clients. So processes are important, guys. You've got to make sure that your processes are designed properly so that you can know when things go bad, where do you fix. You say you're a pastor, you have a process, but your process is not even defined. People get into your church in the morning, isn't it? They take a seat, they go for intercession, yes, and then they start singing, making too much noise for people, and then they say, now we are worshiping, and they say, now the Holy Spirit is doing this, and now they're saying, give us your 10% quickly, want to enjoy your money without working hard for it, bring it here, you take your money, and then with it, and then you come in, you give your word of whatever, then somebody gives thanks, and then the church is out. So it's a process.
But in a case of where you train people and then, well, the client will give you 50%, it's okay. But then they will wait for almost 5 or 6 months to settle the amount. So
Don't do business with such people, and that's government. If you can't, they can't pay. If somebody pays you over 60 days, the money means nothing.
because that does happen. I mean,
Yeah, well, it's sad, guys. It's very sad that they say, hey, we want to build small business, but they're the same people who mess up small business. So you have to define your process. If you don't define your processes, and you've got to consistently refine them, it's defined now, how do I make it better? You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm saying the best thing, go to a hospital and go to a hotel, go to top restaurants and see how they do their things. Everything's they deliver to you.
What I like is you pay for everything. For the extra sheet.
Yes.
Love.
Yeah, you pay for everything. Why can't why can't we also charge for everything? Huh?
Because you're buying it.
Yeah?
Yeah, you say you can't charge for it because you're buying it.
Yes. So yes, otherwise if you don't charge for it, I'm actually getting to a place where I'm saying, when people want me, they must pay me up front. Why shouldn't they? Because if they go to an airport and want to fly somewhere, they don't say to SAA, I'll pay you next week.
Finish like
Let me fly first, and then if the flight was good, I'll pay you.